Jane D. Hull once said, "At the end of the day, the most overwhelming key to a child's success is the positive involvement of parents." It is absolutely with this spirit in mind, I would like to invite some of our MLSI parents today to say a few words. They have been long standing and committed parents of the MLSI school community. I would like to start with Mr. Koturi. If you could please come and share a few words.
The graduating classes of MYP and DP, fellow parents, faculty and authorities of Mount Litera School International, good evening. Charles Dickens once described those times as the best of times and the worst of times. Today, we have a twist amongst the worst of times. This evening indeed represents the best of our times. It has created a mosaic of memories for us to take forward and fills us with hope for the future. But I still remember 5 years ago, okay, when Anushka and I and my wife walked into MLSI to listen to an orientation lecture on what IB was all about and what MLSI could do for us. I remember the slide that the then principal put up. It said that the children will be prepared for an answer to solve the problems of an uncertain future using technologies that haven't yet been developed and skills which haven't yet been identified. In other words, our children will be future ready. Okay. And when I look back 5 years later, the school has more than redeemed this pledge and more than redeemed this promise that it's made. I see the development in Anushka and in each one of the people that inhabit today's Zoom call. And really, the reason for this is the faculty of Mount Litera. Our culture tells us that Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara. And quite literally, the faculty led by Mr. Vishnu Sharma has done a wonderful job in educating our children. My mother was a teacher for 25 years. So I know that for every hour spent teaching, there's an equal 1 hour that goes backstage. Okay. So I commend the efforts of the faculty in putting together, okay, what has been a meticulous offering all these years. The past year couldn't have made things easier. What with the distance of physical distance and with naughty children switching off cameras, switching off audios and Zoom calls, how do you reach out to them? How do you educate them? And more importantly, how do you build their character? How do you build their moral fiber? Based on the output that I see, okay, you've done more than a fabulous job. And for that, you have my and all the parents' gratitude. But the real acknowledgement and payback will come 5 years, 10 years, 20 years later when a child or an erstwhile child, teachers somehow refer to their students as child, whatever their age. Okay. My mother does that. So when a child age 30, 40 comes and says, Miss, remember you said this that day in that class, and that's what made me what I am today. That's when you'll get the ultimate acknowledgement of what you've done. Thank you, teachers. To the graduating class of MYP and DP, congratulations. You've made history in several ways, okay? By finishing a whole year but not walking into school. The DP batch boldly subjected themselves to be the first and has gone where no man has gone before and are probably happy for the outcome. Yeah. You have a good past and a glorious future to look at. And my wish for you, okay, I will resort to some words of Shakespeare to tell you what I wish. He said that there's a tide in the affairs of men, which, when taken at the flood, leads on to fortune. May there always be a tide in your affairs. May you always have the ability to take it on at the flood. And may destiny always favor you with fortune. All the best. Okay, congratulations.
Thank you so much for those words, Mr. Koturi. I would now like to welcome Ms. Krishnamurthy to say a few words.
Hello everyone, I'm Indu Krishnamurthy, Dhrudi's mom. Thank you, Mr. Vishnu, for giving me this opportunity to share my experience and some of my thoughts with all of you. I'll probably start with a small brief description about how we ended up in MLSI, followed by my experience, my own experience as a student. So that might encourage some of you, most of you, I rather feel. So we actually moved to MLSI about 3 years ago when we decided to come back to India from Singapore. I was actually looking for a school that has full IB, and we did come a few times to India, and we did visit a list of schools. I had done a lot of homework for more than 9 months of homework, and Mount Litera was not in my list at all. I didn't even find this school in my research. And there was one time that we came to Mumbai to interview with another school. I shared this with Mr. Vishnu a couple of weeks ago. And so like we came in for another school. And once we landed here, it was, we were given an appointment. We booked the hotel, we booked the flights. We are here in Mumbai. And I, we are calling the school after checking in the hotel. They're saying, no, the ma'am has decided not to give any appointments for this week. You better come next week. And I was just totally distraught, and I didn't know what to do. We come from another country for the interview, and somebody's there on the phone saying, oh no, you better come next week. And so I did suddenly remembered a friend of mine who moved to Mumbai from Singapore 2 years before us. And I rang her, and she said, and she gave me another school's name, and she said, Google and find out. I Googled that school name, and on top of my list was Mount Litera. And that is the history behind us coming to Mount Litera. We came in, I called the admissions office. Within 5 minutes, Sheetal called me back and she said, you can come for an interview. Our principal is available. He has made time for you. And it was Mr. Vishnu. And we came in. And since then, we have never looked back in regret. I'm so happy that Mount Litera has actually exceeded our expectations. And I'm so grateful to each one of you, especially the homeroom teachers and Shirley and Mr. Vishnu. Now to the students and to the other parents, I just have a small history of mine. I've always been a very good student at the top of my class, and my most favorite subject was mathematics. I'm not sure how, but I used to be a grade level ahead in factorization and math riddles back then, not anymore. Okay, so it made all the sense to me to pursue a career in math as I aspired to teach my favorite subject. I enjoyed my 3 years degree program majoring in mathematics, and with a full 100% marks in 3 of my major papers, I was really, really enthusiastic to embark on my master's in math. However, it ended up to be a total disaster. The subjects were very dull and the lecturers were uninspiring. So they just transferred the contents of the textbook to the blackboard and they left. So I gradually felt discouraged and eventually lost interest in my subject. When the final exams rolled around, I realized that I hadn't written any of the subjects taught and I was totally blank in the exam hall. You won't believe I had barely anything to write and turned all of my papers in empty. And that was for my master's degree in mathematics. And as mentioned before, I used to be a high achiever all the time, and this dreadful experience was really devastating. Out of fear of disappointing my parents, I didn't disclose the truth to them at all. Fortunately, I got a job within a month as an IT instructor thanks to my computer programming trainings that I had over my previous 3 years summer breaks. That helped me gain back my resilience. And I would like to tell you that a failure or a misstep is not the end of the world at all. Though I wasn't teaching math, I really loved teaching computer science. In due course, I ended up teaching mathematics and also became a learning support teacher in an IB school, which I cherish the most. Now I'm pursuing my master's degree in education and will be specializing in special needs education soon. So I would like to encourage you students by saying, whatever subject you choose to study, whatever academic category you find challenging, there's always a wide world ahead of you with plenty of opportunities. Moreover, you're also fortunate to have studied in an excellent school such as MLSI. As an IB educator myself, I've always wanted every child to be considered valuable and nurtured. I'm so glad that MLSI has provided that for my child. And I'm sure each of you parents here has had the same experience. And I can say without a doubt that all you students are well prepared for the next stage of life, whatever it may be. Last but not the least, I would wholeheartedly like to thank Mr. Vishnu and the MLSI faculty team for making the last 3 years, especially the last 1 year, 1.5 years, that we have been associated with MLSI, a real amazing experience for us to treasure in life. And yeah, thank you so much, teachers. Thank you so much, Mr. Vishnu. I do not have enough words to thank you. Best wishes to each one of you students, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Krishnamurthy, for sharing some of that history and making it so relevant for our students today. Thank you once again. I would now like to welcome Mr. Munot to say a few words.
Good evening, Mrs. Mohan, Mr. Kar, faculty members, parents, and dear students. It's an incredible moment of pride for me as Aditya's father, and for all of us as parents of the first graduating class of MLSI, the class of 2021. It's unbelievable that 6 years ago, the boy that I dropped off for his first day at this new school is now so grown up and groomed and even delivering a valedictorian speech tonight. What a journey it has been. MLSI has allowed these 9 kids to grow into who they truly are, from learning design technology to exploring Andaman, from acting in Mahabharata to learning psychology or economics, from writing EEs in variety of subjects to learning various languages to working with Access Life. I can go on and on and on. They all were given endless opportunities to discover their passion, to build upon what they got interested in. We have seen them work on really extraordinary projects at MLSI. It makes me even feel jealous sometimes. I wish I studied here. This is truly a special place. But nothing special just happens by itself. It is people that make it happen. And that's why we are so thankful to all the faculty members them as their own. You have made it happen. Even us as parents, we will cherish the memories with other parents in school, from being critical on so many petty things in one of the first parent-teacher meeting to actually seeing the school evolve to this stage. I still remember how calmly Vishnu sir took all the parents' questions in that first meeting. We have come a long way, sir. Ms. Suzanne, you were much, much more than a DP coordinator. You have no idea of the impact you had, not only on kids, but on us as well. Sincere gratitude to each and every faculty members. We have come a long way. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. Few days back, I saw how excited and emotionally charged students were while preparing for Ms. Silva's farewell. On behalf of all parents, our deep gratitude for her vision and caring and for giving wings to their ambitions. My sincere thanks to all the staff members, right from the ones who receive our kids in the morning, used to receive our kids in the morning, to the ones serving food in the cafeteria. Their smiles always match their energy. Aditya has built great friendships here. 9 of them are such an amazing company, but we have also seen such a beautiful relationship with all their juniors across grades. I'm sure all parents would be feeling the same what I told Aditya today. You're more mature, more aware, more tolerant, more caring, more broadly educated, more inquisitive, and you have formed great friendships. You're so well equipped for the journey to do remarkable and rewarding things and to grow into true leadership roles within our wider community. The first graduating class of MLSI, you have written a chapter of history here, and now I'm sure you are ready to write many more. Wish you all the very best. Thank you so much.